in the mirror. Man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to talk about in this reaction video, ladies and gentlemen, is I found a lady, a modern woman, a black woman in particular, who believes that America should legalize all women who decide to be streetwalkers, call girls, women of the night, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I'll get more into it, more raunchier later. But her ideal is that America should follow a Nordic plan. And what that is, the Nordic model, I'm sorry, is a type of law that you find in Sweden, Finland, Denmark. I'm gonna let her explain it. Then I'm gonna give you some facts, data, and statistics about what she's talking about, because it's very stupid in my most humble opinion. And this is for educational purposes, baby. Let's go ahead and get started. 1 second as I put on your screen, y'all. Give me a second. Oh yeah. Get the music down a little bit because it's a low clip. Here we go. Listen to this. Now listen to this foolishness here.
Yes. However, it's not a black and white issue. It's very nuanced. I think it should be legalized, decriminalized for the person in the position of selling themselves. But I do not think it should be decriminalized for buyers and for traffickers. So an example is if a person is making money off of their own sexuality, I don't think you can criminalize that. That's my business. And the other part is we do it all the time in other ways. People making decisions about their bodies, and if it brings them money, that's really ethically, you can have an ethical stance on it, but that's that person's body. So if they choose to lay down and have sex and get $1,000 for that, that's really their business. The reason that, and it's called the Nordic model. So NRDIC model, the Nordic model.
She misspelled that as N-O-R, the rest of the letter she said. But let me tell you something. I will be explaining to you. I'm going to pull up some information about this Nordic model that she's referring to. Okay? Let's keep going, though. I want you to hear some more of this insanity. So far, she's telling you that she believes that a woman should have the right to prostitute herself. She should not be criminalized. But the men who buy it after she offers to sell it should be criminalized. Yes, this is what the Nordic model suggests, and this is what she's speaking of, okay? So let's keep going and back it up. Let's get it.
RDIC model, the Nordic model or the equality model, where I wouldn't be penalized, but my pimp, my trafficker, my Romeo boyfriend would face charges because I'm being exploited. Even if there's an agreement, because of the power dynamics, courts do not agree that King can say, hey, vet, go do this, and that this is an equal conversation. So
the 16, the P, if he is watching over her, if he got on the streets making money off of her, he's the one that should go to jail, she says. But not the woman who decides to do it. So you have what I call independent contractors, which is also known as renegade hoes. These are the women who are 304s that don't have a 16, and the 16 is a pimp, and the 16 is a P. So women who are out there, selling themselves should not get in any kind of trouble. They should not be held to any type of law or nothing, no accountability. But the man who decides to do it, who buys it, should go to jail. Now you make that make sense to me. So all the blame is on the man. Now keep in mind, she's cool with advertising herself like an OnlyFans model. Women get on these internet things and they promote themselves trying to lure people in so they can make $40, $60, whatever it's going to be. That's okay. Soliciting and all that stuff, that's okay. Putting it in your face is okay. Saying, hey, would you like to buy some of this? That's okay. But it's okay for her. If she goes through with it and you ejaculate all over, that's okay. But what's not okay is that you decided to go ahead, even after the agreement is made, to do it. That makes no sense at all. At all, man. Our women are lost, man. Let's keep going with this buffoonery, man.
and that this is an equal conversation. So to protect those of us like myself who were out there for addiction and poverty, all kind of childhood things ended me up out there. And the other part is traffic buyers. You're open to the violence, and a lot of I have friends that are still in the industry, and they make really good money, and that's their choice. But what we often don't hear about is the violence and the level of degradation and depravity that you have to endure when you open your body and the door to allow some random to come in and lay with you. Um, and so there's criminality behind that because they are using their money. Again, it's an economic exchange, it's an exchange of power to purchase someone. Um, and I get, and that's why it's illegal. I think it should be illegal just because of all the violence that I endured by my trafficker and by buyers. Now, I didn't have a pimp the whole time I was in the life. There were times when I was out there on my own accord based on childhood addiction and unresolved childhood trauma. Um,
That BS again. All right. So she's deliberately deciding to be a hooker. It's not her fault though. It's all because of something else. It's because of childhood addiction and childhood trauma. Okay. She doesn't specify what that quote unquote addiction is. I just think you wanted to get out there to make some fast money. That's what I think it is. Because there's a lot of people with addictions that don't resort to prostitution. And there's a lot of people with addictions that decide to try to change their lives. So all this is some BS, man. Why don't you? I think she done had too many thicklings in her head, my humble opinion, because like she sound like she just trying to find a way to justify what she did. Now remember what I always say in my videos, y'all. A woman will always do what she can mentally justify. If she can make it rational to her, no matter how absurd it is, no matter how stupid it may be to other people, as long as she can make it make sense to her, then it's okay. And that would it seem like she's struggling. It seems like she's struggling between she knows what she's saying is BS, and she's struggling between that and I know I can make this make sense. That's what it sounds like to me, y'all. Just keep going.
on childhood addiction and unresolved childhood trauma. Um, and I still have my prostitution charges are still on my record. Um, I don't think that I did anything wrong. The officers solicited me. So that's a whole nother conversation. But I also don't think that we understand what happens when a person receives a prostitution charge. You might it's a misdemeanor in the state of Texas. The first time and the second time is like 2 weeks in jail, a month in jail. The third strike is 2 years state. Period. There's no conversation. But when we look at where the average prostitute is coming from, really shouldn't be penalized for the decisions that they're having to make from a whole sea of bad decisions to be made. There's not like, how am I going to eat? How where am I going to find somewhere to sleep? Or
You get a job, you go to work. That's how you get a place to stay and food to eat. Ain't no accountability whatsoever. All right. Everybody make bad decisions, but everybody don't prostitute themselves. So I think we can agree that putting yourself out there and selling yourself is a bad decision. But you can't say that you should not be held responsible for your own individual choices simply because you have made some bad judgment calls in your life. We all have. Okay? And in the real world, you have to be held accountable. That's why they have courts and stuff like that. They hold you accountable and send you to jail, right? This woman is loose. In my most humble opinion, something wrong with her, in my humble opinion. That don't make no sense. And these are the women who are talking to younger women, influencing younger women with this trash, man. Let's keep going.
how am I going to get my next fix without breaking the law when I can just incur the violence in myself? So it's such a nuanced conversation. But I know for me, I couldn't even find work with a master's degree because people saw prostitution twice on my, and it's called moral turpitude. It's a heavy moral crime. Um, a lot of people, men and women, judge the prostitute, but they have very little to say about the trick and the trafficker. So we just want to protect the vulnerable in this conversation.
Man, that woman is a whole fool. So you got a prostitute with a master's degree. Anyway, y'all, excuse my allergies kicking in. Let me go ahead and put this Nordic model. Man, these women out here are just nuts, in my humble opinion. Let me make sure it's on your screen. Let's read it together, man. This is what she was referring to earlier, okay, y'all? The Nordic model refers to the standards followed in Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, and Iceland. These nations are known for high living standards and low income disparity. The Nordic model merges free market capitalism with a generous welfare system. Now, this is what it looks like. When you are dealing with the Nordic model, you're talking about criminalizing the buyers, which are with the tricks are, the Johns are, and stuff like that, getting them in trouble. But you want to decriminalize the hookers and the prostitutes, the ones who actually out there doing it. Like she said, there was times she went out there without any P, without any pimp, anything like that. That's what she said, right? So she's making a decision to go out there and put herself on those streets. And she feels she should not be held accountable for her own personal decisions. It goes into the Nordic model. And also in the third part, it says it helps to get out of prostitution. I don't know how, but it does. But that's the Nordic model that you find in those countries. And she think America should adopt that stuff so that your daughters can go ahead and, put themselves on the market and not worry about getting in trouble. Hey, you heard it from her. You didn't hear it from me. You heard it from her. Now hold on right quick. Well, this stuff I be finding, man, be blowing my mind sometimes, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me go ahead and put this other video up here. I want you to see this type of mentality because it's a real mentality. It really is a real mentality. Turn my music up a little bit. Now listen to what these girls are gonna say and tell me that they don't sound like young hookers.
Is he obligated to get the cat?
Excuse me.
If someone flies you out to Miami, is he obligated to get the cat?
Depends on the name.
Elaborate.
Like if you fly me out and you're a rich or something, and like you're a rapper or something like that, it's kind of expected. Yeah, that nigga probably gonna hit. If you're a random ass fly me out, I'm finna dog you. Like I'm not finna fuck you.
But I feel like that's backwards because like, what if he's putting his all into flying you out and then you?
Well, that's different. Like if I'm with you or something, then yeah. But if you're just like, oh, be on my phone, like, oh, let me fly you out,
and you'll take it.
I'll take it, but I'm not fucking.
All right, but what if when you?
So tell me. So tell me how that's different from being a trick on the street. Anytime a dude flies a woman out, spend $3,000, and then when she get there, spend another $1,000, pops more bands on her because he's trying to hit that. You ain't nothing but a trick anyway. I know that's popular with some lames. I call them lame. Be what you want to be, whatever you want to do. But I'm not fit to spend $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. It ain't because I ain't got it. I'm not fit to spend $4,000 or $5,000 to fly a woman out to see me, and then spend some more money when she gets there to take her out and all this other stuff like that. Maybe buy her a purse and stuff. Again, not because I don't got the money. I'm just telling you what I won't do. I'm not going to do all that stuff there hoping to get some coochie. I'm not doing that. You paying for the coochie. You don't spend dang 10 bands on a woman just to get some coochie. You got coochie all around you for free. You ain't got no game. Any man who spends that amount of money, a lot of money, just to get some coochie has no game. That's not a Mac. That's a simp. But we see that a lot. I'm getting flued out, girl. I got me a sucker. That's basically what that means. You're a rent-a-hoe, in my most humble opinion. And they will go to these beta males like that, though. I'll tell you that. Just keep going.
When you get there, it's just one bed.
So I'm going home.
Oh shit.
What you gonna do?
What about you?
Not obligated to hit. I feel like if it was a random and I had him fly me out, I would just ghost him after the flight, probably.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah.
like what? You look crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
But if you're like a rapper or something, then it's kind of like
expected, right?
Which
Yeah,
rapper?
you kind of know.
like oh,
Wait a minute.
you know what I'm saying though.
Which
Yeah.
rapper?
Rapper, so
Which ones?
like if Kai Bands fly me out or something like that, like he from Cali. If he fly me out or something, then yeah.
I tell you, all these women got a price, don't they? They all got a price, man. They all got a price, man. It's sad, but it is what it is. You seen it here on the Jeremy Hill show. All right, then. Let's go ahead and let me know what you think about this topic, man. Y'all have a good one now. You hear?